I really don't care what happens to her at all. I don't care. Like everybody they tiptoe around with this social media, but what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequence.
It was the kind of video you couldn't scroll past. It didn't matter if you knew the full story or just caught a glimpse. Once you saw it, you were locked in. Two men, in the middle of the street, blood on their clothes, faces twisted with rage. One was Iman Shumpert, the other, Aaron Pierre. And this wasn't a movie. This was real life, caught on 4K. And the internet went absolutely wild. No one could believe it when the footage first dropped. It was late evening. A shaky phone camera captured the beginning, but the angle was surprisingly clear. You could hear people yelling. You could see the crowd forming. And then out of nowhere, Iman lunged forward. Or maybe Aaron stepped in first. That part's still being debated. But one thing's for sure. Fists were thrown. Hard. Just hours before, no one had a clue that the two would end up in a full-blown street fight. But those who'd been paying attention saw the storm coming. For months, Iman and Aaron had been dancing around each other. Social media shade, court tension, indirect jabs through interviews and cryptic posts. It was all bubbling beneath the surface. And this week, it exploded. It started when both men attended the same private event. A mutual friend, someone close to Tayana, had invited them both, maybe not realizing they'd show up at the same time. Or maybe they did. Either way, from the moment Iman and Aaron were under the same roof, people say the tension was thick. You could feel it. Aaron kept his distance. Iman didn't speak. But everyone noticed the way they looked at each other. Like they were waiting for the other to blink first. No one expected it to get violent. Not really. These were two grown men, both with public images to maintain.
But then someone said something.
A whisper, a smirk, maybe a snide comment too quiet for the cameras to pick up, but loud enough to push things past the point of no return. And just like that, the gloves were off. The footage starts with them standing just a few feet apart. You can hear someone off camera saying, "Yo, chill." Then it happens. Aaron steps forward, bumping into Iman. Iman doesn't back down. He pushes back. Aaron raises his voice. Iman raises a fist. The next moment is chaos. Someone's filming from across the street. There's blood. There's shouting. Security rushes in. But not before at least 3 solid punches are thrown. One of them falls to the ground. A friend pulls the other back. It's raw. It's violent. And it's real. Within minutes, the video was everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, nobody could believe it. Not just because of who was fighting, but because of what it meant. This wasn't some random scuffle. This was personal. This was months, maybe years, of resentment coming to a head. And the world was watching. As the footage spread, reactions came in fast. Some fans immediately sided with Iman. They said he'd been provoked, that Aaron had been disrespecting boundaries for too long. Others backed Aaron, claiming Iman was still bitter about Tayana and needed to move on. The internet was split, but one thing was clear. Everyone had an opinion. Celebrities weighed in too. A few posted cryptic messages. Some urged peace. Others threw fuel on the fire. One artist tweeted, "You can take the man out the league, but you can't take the rage out of him." That post alone racked up 500,000 likes in a day. And all the while, Tayana stayed quiet. Until she didn't. Hours after the footage went viral, Tayana broke her silence. Not with a statement. Not with a rant. But with a single post. An Instagram story that read, "When men fight for ego, they lose everything that matters."
Just that. No tags.
No photos. But everyone knew exactly what she was talking about. The emotional weight of her words hit hard. Especially for those who followed her story. Tayana's been through it all. Breakups, betrayals, public scrutiny, and now, a street fight between the father of her child and the man she once trusted. It was more than drama. It was exhausting. And fans could feel it. She unfollowed both men shortly after, deleted some old photos, went radio silent again. Sources close to her said she was heartbroken, not just about the fight, but about what it represented. The chaos. the lack of peace. The idea that her daughter might one day see that video and ask questions no child should have to ask. Meanwhile, legal consequences loomed. The police confirmed they were reviewing the footage. Multiple angles had been submitted. Witnesses were being contacted. Both men had left the scene before officers arrived, but charges were now on the table. Aaron's camp said they were considering legal action. Iman's team called it self-defense. But behind the scenes, more layers were unraveling. Insiders claimed the fight wasn't just about Tayana. Days earlier, Aaron allegedly made a comment about Iman's relationship with his daughter, something deeply personal. Someone close to the family overheard. That's when Iman reportedly reached out privately. Aaron ignored him. So when they met face-to-face at the event, it wasn't just awkward, it was dangerous. Another rumor floated online that a relative of Iman's had seen Aaron with another woman, someone connected to the family. That may have added fuel to the fire. Whether it's true or not, people believe there was more behind that punch than what we saw. And the internet, ever hungry for updates, dissected every frame of the footage. Slowed-down versions. Voice-enhanced edits. People analyzing every movement, every expression. It was like a scene from a reality show, only it was real, and it had real consequences. In the days that followed, fans began shifting their energy. The initial shock turned into concern. For Tayana, for her daughter, for what this feud was doing to everyone involved. People started saying enough was enough. That this wasn't entertainment anymore. It was sad. It was traumatic. A hashtag began trending. Hashtag Protect Tayana's Peace. And it caught on fast. Public figures reposted it. Mental health advocates spoke out. A few even urged both men to seek therapy, not revenge. Because this wasn't just a one-time fight. It was the result of long-standing pain. Wounds that hadn't healed. Egos that hadn't deflated. Since that explosive fight, Tayana Taylor has remained mostly silent. She hasn't directly addressed the incident or the fallout that followed, only sharing a cryptic post that left many wondering about her state of mind. But those closest to her paint a clearer picture. Tayana is focused intently on three things: her daughter, her career, and most importantly, her own healing. She's made it clear she's not interested in engaging in public battles or taking sides in what has become a messy and painful saga. What she wants more than anything else is peace, a chance to put the chaos behind her and move forward with strength and dignity. Iman, too, has been noticeably quiet. His silence isn't accidental. It feels deliberate, almost strategic. Some believe he's cooperating quietly with authorities, handling legal matters out of the public eye. Others think he's simply trying to let the storm die down before stepping back into the spotlight with his side of the story. Whatever the reason, Iman has gone off the grid, choosing restraint over confrontation. In an environment where emotions are running high, his measured response is a sign that he's trying to avoid further damage, not just to himself, but to everyone involved, especially his daughter. Aaron Pierre has been even more elusive. According to insiders, his team has strongly advised him to stay silent and avoid all public statements and social media activity. Whether this silence stems from guilt, a calculated legal strategy, or sheer exhaustion from the relentless pressure, no one outside his inner circle can say for sure. But the lack of response only fuels speculation, making it clear that this situation is far from over. But here's the crucial point. No matter who threw the first punch or who will face legal consequences, the emotional wounds from this moment will not simply fade away. These scars won't just impact the adults caught up in this conflict. They will ripple outwards, affecting everyone around them. Most of all, the pain is felt by Tayana and her daughter, who find themselves at the heart of a public storm they never asked for. This isn't just another episode of celebrity drama designed for quick consumption and forgetfulness. It's a deeply human story about love turning into resentment, about pride morphing into violence. It's a cautionary tale about what happens when people lose sight of what truly matters, when ego and hurt override compassion and reason. These aren't just headlines or viral videos. These are real lives, messy and complicated, played out in the unforgiving glare of public attention. When emotions boil over, the results aren't always pretty. Sometimes the conflict is raw and ugly. Sometimes it's captured in high definition for millions to watch, analyze, and judge. And sometimes it leaves everyone wondering, how did it get this far? How did things spiral into such a painful and public spectacle? The internet won't forget that fight. The video will live on, replayed in clips, dissected in reactions, and turned into memes that spread far beyond the people involved. But behind every share, every comment, every like, is a story that still hurts deeply. And at the center of that story is a little girl caught in the crossfire, her life forever marked by events she doesn't fully understand. So now the real question isn't about who won or lost that fight. It's about what comes next. Will they find the strength to heal? Will they grow from this painful chapter? More importantly, will they finally realize that this battle, the ugly, public, and heartbreaking battle, can no longer be about them? It has to be about something bigger than ego, something more meaningful than revenge. Because if they don't make that shift, if they continue down this destructive path, then what we saw on camera, the anger, the violence, the heartbreak, might just be the beginning of much deeper damage. And that's a future no one should want to see unfold.